All right, cool. Cool. That's some of you. Looking at 2 pages here. All right. All right, cool. Thank you. Thanks for staying up there. And how many of you have been selling Cutco for 6 months or more? 6 months or more. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. That's a nice amount of you. Yeah, Phil, a little bit more. And how many of you are um, BMCs, like branch manager candidates, or in that world? You know, Phil, someday they'll promote you. Sarah's like, maybe. All right. And how many of you are on a CSP track? Maybe you're not CSPs yet, but that's your goal. That's your goal. Me? Devin? Maybe. We'll see. All right, cool. All right. So um, I am a CSP, but I work with a lot of managers. Coached, I've even coached managers. Um, so I don't know what I'm doing, but they've been successful. Um, so I don't know. I must know something. So wherever you are, whether you are brand new, whether you've been doing this for a little bit of time, whether you are kind of up and coming in whatever area of the business in which you are up and coming, or whether you are really established. I can't claim that I'm going to teach Phil anything new, but maybe I can remind you of something that's beneficial. So I believe that wherever you are, you're going to find something in this message, and hopefully you'll find a lot. I'll do my very best to deliver, and I want you to, as I give this message, I want you. This will be a little bit interactive, so I might call on someone, and I might. I suggest that you don't worry about other people's. I know, right? Don't worry about other people's races. Think about your own race, right? Because last year I sold 147K, which for me is well below, what is quote unquote my standard. That might be above some of your standards, right? But it's below my standard. Okay. So that's not a bad year for me. I had a great year selling Cutco. I worked around being a great son. I was there for my parents. I helped pay some of their bills. I had a 37K December, and sold when I needed to. So that's for me, that was my race last year. This year, it's going to be a bit of a faster race. So think about what your race is, and that's good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm sure you've seen this kind of thing before here on Zoom. And we're going to talk about the goals of a champion because, why not you? Okay. So I want to talk about Epcot Center really quickly. Okay. Some of you may have been to Disney. Let me see if I can see some stuff. Hang on. There we go. There you are, floating on my screen now. Very good. If you've ever been to Disney or Epcot Center, what you know is it's extraordinary. And there's a very famous story about Walt Disney, and it was his idea, and he had this whole brilliant idea, and it was even bigger than it actually ended up becoming. But when he created Epcot Center and the idea of Epcot Center, he didn't live to see it. He didn't live to see it, and there's an apocryphal story in which Roy Disney is giving a press conference about Epcot and the opening of Epcot, and this is happening after Walt Disney has passed away. And he's giving this talk at a press conference. And after the press conference, or maybe even during, the apocryphal story is one of the reporters says, isn't it sad that, Walt wasn't here to see it? And he said, no, you don't understand. Walt saw this a long time ago. Because he saw it then, we see it now. He had already seen it. When it comes to goals, the fight is won or lost far away from witnesses behind the lines, right? It's won here on this call. It's won in what you do after this call, right? Behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road, long before I dance under those lights. The fight is won or lost far away from witnesses. And when it comes to goals, Michelangelo, who knew something about making something great, said the greater danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. So I encourage you to work hard and think about what you could do if you really worked really hard. And I encourage you to aim high. What is your goal? Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. That's what Disney did. He turned the invisible into the visible. Michael Jackson, who many of you know, is someone that I respect and actually had a chance to meet on 2 occasions. He used to meet with his team and he said, everything starts right here in this room. And then it goes out into the whole world. But it starts right here. And really everything starts right here. And then it goes out. So when it comes to what's your goal, I recommend SMART. We could do smarter, but we'll just keep it simple for this message, SMART goals. So when I say what is your goal, I just mean like, what are you up to? What is your goal? Your goal has to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound, right? So again, you can look at your own goals. Like a goal could be graduating college debt free, right? That's specific. It's measurable, like if you're debt free or not. It's attainable, right? You can look at it, right? It's relevant, like it's important to you. That might be an important goal for you. And it's time bound because it's a, most likely a 4-year kind of goal. A goal might be selling 10K in January. How much? Specific, 10K. Measurable? Yep, you can measure that. It's not 9. Attainable? Probably. Now, if you said 50K in January and you had never sold anything like that, then I'd say maybe not attainable. Relevant? Yeah, if you're selling Cutco, sure. Time bound, January. Right? So what is your goal? Okay? So think about what your goal might be. It could be a yearly goal, could be a monthly goal, could be a weekly goal, could be a daily goal. Keep in mind that just like a sale, okay? We think of closing as something that happens at the end of an appointment, but really the close happens all throughout the appointment, right? As in, if they're saying no to a trimmer, they're not going to say no to a homemaker, right? If they're saying no to a set, they're not going to say yes, is what I meant to say. Not going to say yes, excuse me. They're not going to say yes to a homemaker, right? So you have to get them on board, right? You have to get yourself on board too. You have to get yourself on board with your goal, right? So if you say, well, my goal for January is 10 grand, right? You might have lots and lots of mini goals along the way, right? And if you're a manager, right, apply this to your own goals, your recruiting goals, your PPR goals, right? Just apply this to your own world, your own race. Set a goal, make a plan, get to work. Now stick to it. Okay, every plan that you make, I'm telling you the truth, no matter who you are, it's not going to work perfectly. There's always going to be something that goes wrong, right? We all know this, right? Something's always going to go wrong. And that has to be somewhat incorporated into your plan, basically, right? So, if you have, 20 set for training, 20 people ain't going to show, right? So, I mean, great, sure, if they all show, awesome, right? But then don't expect that to always happen. Right? Zach's laughing because he knows, right? I'm sure, Zach, you've had lots of people set for training and like one person showed or no people showed. And you were like, oh my God, right? That's when you have to be in that world of maybe you have to go back down a couple of steps, right? Look at the bigger goal, set the new goal, make the new plan, get back to work harder, stick to it, right? This is where people really struggle, the get to work and the stick to it, especially when things do not go according to plan, and they never do. So I recommend that you include in your plan the problems, because if you have a legitimately good goal, like a real goal, a goal that's going to challenge you, a goal that's going to push you, a goal that's going to stretch you, you will encounter problems. If you do not want to have problems, don't do anything, and you will have no problems for a while. And then eventually you'll have really big problems. Right? But I want to have problems I like. I want to have problems like, how am I going to get 20 people to training? How am I going to have the biggest show to training I've ever had? How am I going to get 50 people? How am I going to launch more people than I've ever launched before? How am I going to sell more in a day than I've ever sold before? How am I going to have the best phone time? These are good problems. So much more fun than, how do I take out the garbage? That's not an interesting problem. I mean, you have to do it, but that's not a problem that you're worthy of. Find a problem that you're worthy of. Find a problem that you like. If you don't have a problem you like, just do something else. Have a better goal. Upgrade your problems. Upgrade your life. Reach your goal. How to start strong? Well, this is if you're a new rep, right? Have a big list of names. If you have a small list of names, you're not going to do well. I don't know what number a big list of names is. Managers know what number that is. Put it in the chat. What's a big list of names? So the people know, right? And if you want to be extraordinary, have an extraordinarily big list of names. If you want to be average, have an average list of names. If you want to be below average, have a below average list of names. There you go. Let's check the chat here. Where's the chat? Yeah, there you go. So 300, if you go into a phone jam and you have 300 people to call, well, guess what? Your phone jam's probably going to go pretty well. Have your big list of names, have your phone jams, make the plan, stick to the plan. How many appointments can you do in a day? 5, 6, 7, 10? Why not? It's up to you. The most appointments I've ever done in a day is 11, and these were in home. It was a good day. Can I? Constant and never-ending improvement. Can I? Yes, you can. If you can find a path with no obstacles, it probably doesn't lead anywhere. Absolutely. Henry Ford said obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off the goal. Nugget. Okay. How much time do I actually have? Do I actually have like another 5 minutes? Because I started at like 11 or something.
You're good.
My 11.
Keep rolling.
You're 9. All right. Okay. So let's have a little bit of interaction here. Okay. These are questions though. Just what would stop me from reaching my goal and what would help me to reach my goal. Okay. Both of these sides of the equation are really going to help. So these are the questions I'm about to ask you all. Not all of you, but some of you. You can think about it. What would stop me? What would help me? Okay. So here's where we're going to, ask a couple questions. So, what I want you to do, I want someone or a couple of people who are willing to share their goals. Just raise your hand. I'll try to find you. I got 2 screens. Raise your hand. Participation really helps. You don't have to. I won't randomly call on you. Melanie, I won't randomly call on you. I might. All right, who's going to help Melanie out so I don't have to randomly call on her?
Matt, Caleb, who's got some good goals? Who's
Sophia. All right, Sophia. Yeah. All right, please unmute yourself. Thank you, Phil.
Do you want me to go ahead?
Yeah, what's a goal for you? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I've actually just started up school. I'm an architecture student, so I have a very hectic school schedule. So my goal for the month of January and until spring break is to try to get 1 to 2 appointments a week.
Okay, cool. So first of all, I'm going to pick on you just a little bit. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, just a little bit. Okay. So first of all, awesome. You're the first person to share. You went for it. Good job. Virtual high five. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Boom. Okay, good. So thank you. Right. So first of all, that's great. You have a goal. Good. Right. If you don't have a destination, you're not going to, it's harder to get there. Right. The first thing I'm going to say though is there's a little bit of apology for the goal. Right. Do you hear it? Like I have a very hectic school schedule, so my goal's kind of lame, and I don't want to look lame, but I'm kind of, you hear that? Right? So that's the first thing. Whatever it is, you got to freaking own it, right? Remember about you are running your own race, right? Now you can talk about how you can improve that goal or not. I'm not telling you what your goals should be. You know your life. I don't know your life. You know your other commitments. You have other goals. That's okay. The whole point of Vector and Cutco, by the way, is that it is a vehicle towards your goals. It is a vehicle for what matters to you, right? Phil and I, for example, have stayed in Vector for a couple of decades because it's a vehicle that we still like or love that is bringing us to our goals, right? But if it wasn't, then we should do something else. I mean, nothing wrong with it. My friend Hal Elrod, he sold, got in the Hall of Fame with Cutco, and then he left Cutco Vector. He became a best-selling author because that was his goal. And more than that, by the way, he's much more than that, right? So there's nothing wrong. We don't go, oh my gosh, I wish Hal was selling Cutco. No, we're like, that is awesome. You are a freaking Cutco Vector poster boy, right? We could always say, look, sell Cutco, become Hal Elrod, become a best-selling author and, famous for helping people. Awesome, right? Sell Cutco. You become Phil Bollinger and stick with it and, still be raising a family and creating a lifestyle and helping other people. Awesome. Sell Cutco. Become, be like JPB who's doing what he wants, right? It's all about what you're up to, okay? And you know what matters to you, Sophia, much better than I ever could. So first of all, don't apologize, own it. It's cool. Now, if you feel, Sophia, like actually you could do 3 appointments a week and you're shortchanging yourself, I'm not saying that's the case. But if you felt, hey, you know what? If I were to really challenge myself a little bit, I could do 3 and it wouldn't be a big thing. Then, rather than apologize for the goal, reevaluate the goal, look at it, and see how you can get there if you want to do that. That's the first thing. Okay. Second thing, again, picking on you just a little bit, right? Try, right? I say it too, by the way. You're not the only one. And by the way, I'm talking to Sophia right now, but I'm talking to each and every one of you because we have all done these kinds of things, including me, right? I've done it probably more than all of you, right? So try, right? If you saw The Empire Strikes Back, there's a great moment, if you ever saw it, when Yoda says, do or do not, there is no try. And guess what? There's something to that, right? Like if I try to talk, I'm making sound. And if I talk, then I'm talking. I didn't try to talk. I either, right? Great, Phil. Right? Phil says, I think try in this case might just mean start, right? Begin, right? Journey 1,000 miles, right? Great point, right? Journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So I just say, listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying and listen to, it gives you a sense of your mindset, right? If you want to know how you're thinking about something, just start talking about it with someone and you'll hear it. And if you go, how can I make that better? How can I upgrade my thinking? How can I upgrade my language? How can I upgrade? Okay. So 2. So then we go back to those questions that I was asking before. Okay, Sophia, which is what would stop me from reaching my goal? Critical thinking. We're gonna leave you alone though for a little bit, and we're gonna call on someone else for those questions. But Sophia, great job. 2 snaps for Sophia on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good job. All right. Thank you. Okay. Someone else. Raise your hand. Gonna pick on you. It can be a manager. I don't mind. It can be Devin. I don't mind. The guy who might want to be a CSP. All right, Zach. Thank you. Zach, my question for you, sir, is what would stop you from reaching your goal? What is your goal, by the way, Zach?
My goal for the year is to have a $500,000 office first year out.
$500,000 office, first year out. Okay, perfect. Good. Right? Specific, measurable, first year, all that good stuff. Right? Smart goal. Cool. So, first year out. Okay, so Zach, what would stop you, hypothetically, from reaching your goal? What could get in the way?
Myself, self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage. Okay, cool. Interesting. Okay, so now, Zach, here's what's really interesting, right? We all do things that help ourselves. We all do things that hinder ourselves, right? It's impossible to not, we're all going to make mistakes, right? Every single one of us. I'm going to make mistakes and so on and so forth, right? It's just like problems. We're all going to make mistakes. And if we're up to something, we'll make a lot of mistakes. Okay. So then let's get specific about that. Just like we get specific about our goals, we want to get specific about whether it's an obstacle, whether it's a mistake, right? So whatever you want to say, I'm not trying to get you to say anything you don't want to say, right? But what you're comfortable with. What's something, when you think about that, when you say that, right? What's something that you could do that would, I'm still in the critical thinking, right? That would stop you from hitting your goal. When you say self-sabotage, what's an example of that? Maybe something that you've done in the past or haven't done that you should, right?
Something specifically that would stop me from hitting my goal would be, me not showing up, me not taking care of my reps and giving them what they need. Not
Right.
putting.
Okay. Got it. So we could spend a lot of time on this, but this is where this is gold for you, Zach. Okay. And by the way, if you're not Zach, think about what's gold for you. Where are the areas in which you might get in your own way, so to speak? So not showing up, not taking care of your reps, right? But that looks a particular way, right? We can get much more specific, right? So for example, we could say not doing PDI daily, right? Not making those outgoing calls daily. That's an example. There are many, you could list it, about recruiting, all kinds of stuff, right? You could just go on, right? So then you want to really do that. You can dig deep here, Zach. You can dig deep and you can interrupt those problems. You can interrupt those problems by creating systems and creating accountabilities. Okay? Systems, Zach, and accountabilities, right? So a system could be as simple as between 9 and 10 a.m. every day, I'm doing outgoing calls. I mean, that's literally a system. And an accountability would just be at 9 a.m. I'm texting Phil, OG. 10 a.m. I'm texting Phil how it went. That's accountability for that system. A lot of times people think, oh, it's so complicated. I have to create a whole system. No, it can be. You create the system that works for you, right? Interrupt, right? The best way to handle an objection is awesome. Champs Club. There you go. That's a system of accountability, right? And you being here tonight is a system of accountability, right? When you go to a team meeting, you go to a division meeting, when you go to Champs Club, when you participate, when you're in a group chat, when you're in a whatever, these are systems of accountability, right? You are who you talk to. You are who you hang out with. There you go. Awesome, Phil. Love it. Right? So all of that goes on and on and on. Okay. Last person. We're going to call one other person. Zach, hope you got some value from that. Thank you for, yeah. Awesome. One more volunteer. One more volunteer. One more volunteer. I might call on Phil. Who should I call on? Oh, come on. One person. I'm not going to judge you. All right. Parker Parrish. Parker Parrish. What's your goal? A goal.
Yeah. So one of my goals that I have been thinking about for a while and trying to put into action, right?
Yep.
I want to buy I'm going to buy my first house in full, around anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 by the age of 27. Some things that could get in my way is frankly a fear that if I really shoot for it, if I really give up all my inhibitions and I really go for it and I still miss it, what's that going to say about my character? What's that going to say about who I am as a person and my abilities?
Got it. Okay. There's so many things to say. Great goal though. Okay, so I'll address what you said, and then I'll ask you the other question. Just really quickly addressing what you said. there's a great quote that's attributed to Aristotle. It's not Aristotle, but it's attributed to Aristotle. He said lots of good things. But it's something like, and I don't have it memorized. I don't have it's not in this talk, but it goes something like, excellence is an art won by training and habituation. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. There's something after that which I cannot recall perfectly, but it's basically saying like you're not excellent because you show up. You know, Kobe Bryant wasn't the greatest basketball player of his generation because he just showed up, right? He was the greatest basketball of his generation because he had the habits to be the greatest, and he also had the skills, and he also had the talent, he also had everything, right? But if he had a bad game, it didn't mean anything about him, right? If you the whole thing about buying into your own hype, right? The moment like my average order on demos is over $1,000, okay? But the moment I go into a demo going, I'm so good at demos, you're gonna buy from me. It's like no, okay. Excellent is an art won by training and habituation. It's that simple. There's more to the quote, but check it out. So if you don't do it, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't say anything about you. It just means that your training and habituation might have been a little bit off. Or maybe it means something else. So, yeah, habits, absolutely. So here's what I'm going to say about this, Parker. Uh, uh, we don't own, I don't own $1,000 average order. I earn it every single time. Success is not owned. It is rented. And we have to pay the rent every single day.
Putting in the work.
Absolutely. Success then is a habit, right? That's the thing. Success is a habit. You get in the habit of being successful. And you also get in the habit of being unsuccessful if you sometimes, in certain areas, we'll have an area in which we're unsuccessful. There you go. Excellence is an art. Well, thank you, Zach. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but rather we have those because we have acted rightly. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit, right? And as Phil said, habits eliminate the need for motivation. Act yourself, or to put it another way, and please write this down, act yourself into feeling. Act yourself into feeling. What would help you reach your goal, being a homeowner by age 27? What would help you reach your goal? Possibility thinking, Parker. Possibility thinking, not just critical thinking, right? Balance, harmony. What would help you reach your goal?
Well, I think an answer is in the is in what we already discussed. One of the many answers.
Right. Right. But if you can get specific, right? You're talking about, up to $200,000, right? So you might have to save some money, right?
Right. So as far as the numbers go, I have been, that's why my range is so large. I think I need to make it a little bit more specific.
Yeah, maybe you do, right? Keep in mind, my friend Hal Elrod, right? I'll keep saying my friend Hal Elrod. I'll be dropping names soon. Hal Elrod. Michael Jackson, met him. Michael Jordan once biked by me in Central Park. I performed once for Wayne Gretzky. Look out. Okay, anyway, I did. He was very nice. So the thing is, thanks, Sarah. So the thing is that there's nothing wrong with having, but some people say have like one goal, some people say have 3 goals. You could have a must do, right? The must do goal, like a better do, right? You decide, okay? Must do, should do, could do, right? But what I'm going to say is, Hal Elrod said, love the life you have while creating the life of your dreams, right? I know Phil, Phil moved, a little recently, maybe a year or 2 ago, into a new house. It was probably a better house than his house from before, right? But he still needs a place to live, right? It's like love the set you have, Mrs. Jones, while creating the set of your dreams. Start with this galley set, and down the line you can upgrade, right? Start with this $120,000 home, and down the line, you can upgrade. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay? All right, good. Go back to screen sharing. You can tell me when to stop. I can't remember how much longer this thing is. We'll skip this for time. All right. Intentional imbalance is something that you can choose to do. Spending your time in the areas that matter. Intentional imbalance is like on Christmas or holiday time. You just spend time with your family. That's intentionally imbalancing your life towards your family, towards the holiday, towards church, towards whatever it is that you're doing, right? Intentional imbalance during a push period is this, spending more time doing your phone jam. Intentional imbalance when you have finals week is spending more time studying and, so on and so forth, right? Like that. Intentionality, very important. You can have a goal and an intention. Have both. Money-making vacation is a push period. Recruiting vacation, however you want to think about it. This is, okay, I just want to show you, this is a piece of my demo. The formatting's a little bit off, but if you ever were to see my demo, you would see this kind of thing. This, again, the formatting's off, but because I just kind of pasted it from a different slideshow. But doesn't matter, right? Who am I? What do I do? My life. I founded a nonprofit. I mentor Silver Cup winners. I perform. I sell lots of Cutco. And then right now I'm in this overwhelming contest, whatever. Just, buy some Cutco. It'll be great. Okay? So share your goals with people. It's good. Matthew Kelly, he's another Vector kind of related person. He's my buddy too. I don't really know him. I just met him. Our lives change when our habits change. You got to fight for your good habits. You got to fight. You got to fight for it. You got to fight for your goals. When you have a like the big, hairy, audacious goal, that's often when the universe is going to say, nope. And you have to tell the universe, no, this matters to me. I really care about it. This is important. Right? Like so many people stop right before they get there. Right? They just have to make one more call and they'll book that appointment. They just have to do one more appointment and they'll say, I sold my first Ultimate set after 5 no sales in a row. And then I sold my first Ultimate set. What if I had just not shown up to that appointment because I was sad? I would have missed out. Fight for your good habits. Results focus, actions focus. Don't tell me, but what do you think is better? Think about it for yourself. What's more useful, having results focus or having an actions focus? Think about it for yourself. I'm going to answer. Actions focus. Results focus is important, especially when you are planning, when you are assessing, when you are having that critical thinking moment, right? But actions focus is what matters because right actions equals right results most of the time, right? Habits. And if you're putting in a huge amount of work into your actions and you're not seeing your results, you're either doing the wrong work or you're about to see results. It takes time sometimes. Happy people plan actions. They don't plan results. Be happy. The myth of someday, right? Someday I'll do this. Someday, tomorrow, right? Someday. I've heard of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but never someday. I'm telling you right now, if someday arrives, so many amazing things will happen on this planet. Someday is not a day of the week. Pick a day, pick a time, make it happen. If you want to be successful and you want to hit your goal, front load it. Take massive action. Meaning that if I want to have a 10K week, I want to make sure that at the beginning of that week, my schedule is booked, front loaded, ready to go. I think that might be it. Nope. Ah, this is the end. This is the end.
Oh, this is great.
These are 3 tips, okay? These are 3 tips for when you're working, okay? But regardless of what you're doing, you can think of 3 tips, right? Some of you might have heard of what they call the Focus 5. Those are 5 things that if you do those things every day, you're going to have a great day, right? Some of you have heard of the one thing, right? The one thing asks this question. It's a very popular book in Vector World and other places. Jay Papasan wrote it. Met him too, but through Vector. I mean, so many people through Vector. The one thing asks the question, what's the one thing that if you did it would make everything else easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing that if you did that one thing would make everything else easier or unnecessary? If you're a rep, it's probably phone time. If you are a manager, it's probably recruiting. Or, it probably is recruiting. If you master recruiting, you're great, right? So 3 cutting edge tips: always be on an appointment or setting up an appointment when you're scheduled to work. If you scheduled to work, work. Goal thermometer is pretty cool. Okay, another way of saying goal thermometer, some people do a vision board, some people write it down. Take some Post-its, put it on your bathroom mirror, which is over there for me. I literally have Post-its of things I need to do, things that matter to me. It's on my bathroom mirror right now. If it's not a heck yes, it's a heck no. It's there. So, I'm a heck yes to talking to you guys. Make 5 calls before every appointment. Make 5 calls after every appointment. Right? These are all great habits. Okay, that's what I got for you. The basic thing is this. So you're smiling like, I don't know what I said.
It's the chat. You referenced the bathroom.
Way over there, dude.
Way over
Way
there.
over there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It would be awesome though. I mean, seriously. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Dude,
So
that's why this is a heck yes, because I was really able to multitask.
you're killing 2 stones with 1 bird.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I'm passing a stone right now.
Right.
So
Oh my gosh, that's so
this
awesome.
is talent, right?
Oh,
So Sheena, it's not funny, and
No.
Parker especially, it's not funny.
oh my god.
So Emily, last time I sing at your wedding, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah. Seriously.
So that's it, right? Set a goal that is worthy of what you want to be up to in life. Okay? And if that goal does not inspire you, either connect it to one that does. Meaning maybe the $120,000 home doesn't inspire you yet. But if you can see you can own that, that's going to lead to the next thing. That's going to lead to the next thing, right? And then you can get inspired. And if it still doesn't inspire you, just thanks, brother. Just create a different goal that gets you. All right? That's my message. Thank you for listening to me. It's a pleasure being with you. And you guys
Let's
are awesome.
give him some love. Give him some praise, clapping. Give him all the stuff. Give him all the reactions, all the Zoom stuff. Yes. Okay. All right. There's some right here. It's written in hieroglyphics, but I've got some aspirations and goals, and I wrote out some stuff from 2020, and then I wrote down some more aspirations and goals. I was like, after I went over the stuff we did in 2020, I was like, I got to do another section of goal setting. And we did a best, those of you that weren't on Champs Club within the last couple of days, we did a Mike Abramowitz goal setting exercise. And, if you haven't set goals for 2020, I would suggest you do that, because there wasn't a lot of hands up there. And to me, I know how I am, that would have said to me, or it said to me that maybe a lot of people aren't used to setting goals. I said this in the chat. I didn't learn this stuff in my old jobs. I didn't learn this when I was shoveling manure at the horse ranch. Okay. I didn't learn this when I was stacking shelves at Walgreens, and I didn't learn this at the telemarketing business. But I learned that stuff here. And the stuff that you do in Vector matters, and the stuff you do in Vector that will impact the stuff you do after Vector really makes this stuff matter. This was personal growth team meeting essentially, wasn't it? Right? And how many of you guys thought, like, man, I got to start setting some goals. I got to do a better job of this. Yeah, it's January. How cliche are we being by setting goals right now? Right? But I do love that it is a fresh start. It's a new semester for a lot of you next Monday, or even the following Monday. You've got some time, and I would suggest over the next couple of hours or days that you set some personal goals. In Key Staff, we did the Wheel of Life a week ago, I think it was, or maybe 2 weeks ago. By the way, you should ask me for the link, JPB. It's gapmap.tonyrobbins.com or something like that. There's a digital version. they made it public. It's a digital version that you can create your own PDF. It's really freaking cool. So
Awesome. I'll ask you.
I'll shoot it to you. Yeah. But it's a digital version of the Wheel of Life that I know you're familiar with, and you can literally move the things and then fill in stuff and create your own PDF. It's awesome. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I looked at we had one person fall off in the last 15 minutes. I was like, I'm going to let him roll. I'm going to let JPB go. And this was fantastic. Thank you so much, JPB. Thank you all for being here tonight. I know that a lot of you are going to be ready for Champs Club tomorrow morning, 7:30. Same Zoom info. We love having you. So you're all invited. And so tomorrow's Champs Club, Friday Champs Club. We got a good, exciting second week. We grew our sales this week over last year this week. And we're looking to continue that trend, which means more and more of you are going to get promotions, more and more of you are going to get pay raises and bigger paychecks. Obviously, make your as big of a paycheck as you can before you start school or before just next week, depending if you're in school or not. But once again, thank you so much, JP. We're going to forego any type of activity tonight.